Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to use a free web-based tool in order to create professional graphics for your website. Now, you may not have the budget or the ability right now to hire a professional graphic designer to design things for your website or for your social media or for your blog or for anything else that you might be using for marketing in your translation or interpreting business. So one of the things that I like to use in my own business is a free web-based tool called Canva. You may have heard of it before, you may have tried it before, but I'm going to show you some things that you could do to start creating graphics today for your translation and interpreting business that will help you to show clients better what you do in a visual way. Hopefully this will allow you to create more professional looking marketing materials. It could help you to create things that you could use for new pages of your website, or you could start creating graphics now for later on down the road when you might want to be upgrading your website or something like that. So hopefully you'll find this useful. It is a tutorial, and hopefully you'll find that everything that I provide here today is just the beginning. It's the first steps for you to get to that next level of creating beautiful visuals that really portray what you do in your business.
Today I'm going to show you how to create a graphic for your website, blog, or social media. As you know, visuals are what tell the story of what we do. So I'm going to give you some examples here of how I create graphics for my own professional blog. But these tips could be used easily for your website, for social media, for anything that you put out to clients that is visual. And an example of this could be potentially for a blog post. So what I'm specifically going to be talking about today is how I create these types of graphics for the blog posts that I write that you might be reading. So the first thing to do is to create an account, or if you already have one, to log into an account on canva.com. You'll want to go here, canva.com, and if you don't have an account, create one. It's easy and it is free. And then go ahead and log in. And once you're inside Canva, you'll see I have a lot of content already here created, but if you have none yet, you will soon. So go ahead and start by creating a design or by clicking on something you've created before. And we're just going to assume that you've never created anything before. We're going to do this from scratch. So the first thing you need to think about is why you might want to use a graphic in your business. Are you going to put it on your website? Are you going to put it on the blog that you write for clients? Are you going to put it in an email that you send out to clients through an email service like MailChimp or ConvertKit or Constant Contact? One thing that you need to do before you create the design is to choose the type of design that would best fit what you're going to do. And if you see here, once you click on Create a Design, you could create something for an Instagram post, for social media, for Twitter, Facebook. You could create your blog banner here. You could create a logo here if you don't have one. Now, usually I suggest going through a professional to do these types of things, especially things like a logo or branding, but sometimes you just don't have the budget to do these types of things. And so what you could do is use a free service like Canva and take images and logos, something that you already have saved on your computer, and create beautiful graphics doing this. So you can see here that Canva has a lot of options. You could create documents, you could create things for your blog here, desktop wallpaper, a web banner, an infographic if you'd like. You can create marketing materials here. You can see there are a lot of options. The social media headers, we talked about lots of uses for social media and all sorts of things. You can just, scroll through these things and decide what you'd like to do. But what I'm going to do is show you how I create the graphics that I use on my blog. And I'm going to go back here where it says all your designs, and I'm going to show you, for example, this is one that I made recently. And this is for this blog post actually that goes with this video, how to use Canva to create marketing graphics for your translation or interpreting business. So I'll show you at the end how these get saved here and how you're going to be able to access these again later. So what you'll do first is, again, click on Create a Design. And then you're going to choose which type of image or document you'll need. So I'm going to say blog banner because I'm going to create a banner for the blog that I'm writing. And you'll see that it already comes up in the dimensions that you'll need for a blog. It says blog title, untitled design. I'm going to go ahead and give it a name, something that I should be writing for my blog in April. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to press done. And the reason that that's important is that at the end, when you save this, it will automatically have this file name when you click to download. So the next thing that you'll do is you'll have something to either put in the background or you'll use an image that you upload. Now I've already uploaded a lot of images here because I use Canva quite a bit, but I'll show you how to upload a new image. I personally don't click on these things where it says upload your images because a lot of things these days are have the drag and drop feature. I find that much easier. So I will go into the images that I want to use and I will find one that fits what I want to write about next month. Let's see. And I'm not going to take a lot of time to do this because frankly you can switch out the photos as often as you like. I have one with a computer in the background. Let's see. This might be a good one. Okay, so I'm going to drag this back into Canva. There we are. And you'll see that it's going to upload. And Canva's nice because it shows your upload happening here with this green line going across, but it also shows the water filling up in this circle here as it's uploading. Once that is finished, you'll know that your image is ready to be used. So the next thing that I'll do is I will drag the image that I just uploaded onto the white background, stretch it out so that it covers the entire background. And I really want the computer to show up, so I'm going to stretch it a bit more. I think that's fine. That's good right there. Okay. So the next thing that you're going to look at are either fonts that you want to put on the graphic, or if you don't want a font, you could just leave it there and you could just download this image as it is and you'll know you have the right dimensions to post onto your blog. But again, this is for a blog banner, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text. So the way that I like to create my blog banners for my professional blog, the ones that look like this, see I have a white background here before I lay the text on it, is I will go now into Elements, Shapes, and there are a lot of shapes that you can pay for. I personally just use the free ones. I don't need to pay for these elements just simply because there's so many free ones that are good. And you'll see that the default here is just to put a black background. We're going to change that now. I use the square option, but you can see there's circles, there's triangles, there's all sorts of options here to use. I'm going to use, I think this one I've saved before. I like this one. Okay. This is sort of a gray background, and I can make it a bit smaller if I like, but I kind of like that large. Okay. And so if you've seen my blog before, you've seen that I like to use sort of a transparent background. And the way to do that on Canva is to make sure that the shape is selected, and then here where you see these little squares, it's like a grid almost, it says transparency. You're going to click on that, and then you can bring the transparency down to whatever you choose for it to be. I don't stick to a specific number simply because there are differences in images. The background image, it will the transparency of the box is going to depend on the image in the background. So what I do is I just choose the background, or the transparency that works well with the background that I've got on the image, and I think that looks pretty good right there. Let's see, I might move this photo a little bit more to get that little plant out of the way from the box. There, it's included in the box now, which I like better. And then I'm going to go to text. I'm going to add some text now, and the one that I like to use, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's okay. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to choose one and show you what I do with mine. Let's see. Let's choose... I like to use ones that have complementary fonts. You can do whatever you want for yours, and you can see there are lots and lots and lots of fonts here to choose from. But one that I like to use has a few complementary fonts, which you see here. It says 7 tips for. It's sort of in an italic or cursive font, and then I have another one here that is in more bold block letters, all capitalized letters. And so then from there I'm going to just choose something that I like here. And what I really appreciate about Canva is that it saves everything for you as you make new documents and new graphics and new images, so you don't have to go back looking for these. And the reason I'm looking for it now is because I don't remember what I have chosen in the past, because I don't have to select this every time I create a new graphic. So I'm just going to choose this one. There's so many free ones here. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to make it fit better here to the image. And we can change the font size here. I'm personally going to change it. I find this very, very small, especially for a blog post. But you'll see that when we download it, it's actually not that small. It is a small font though. 5.7 point is very, very small. So let's make it 18. Okay, and then we will, let's see if we can stretch that a bit. No, so this is what I'm going to do. Whoops, don't want to do that. You're invited to, let's see, how are we going to stretch this out? Ah, I see. Well, there's different ways to play with this. You just have to play with the fonts a bit. Okay, there we go. You can press enter a few times. You can do a lot of things in Canva that, you know, you might not think you could do, and just move stuff around. So you're invited to an ice cream party. I don't really like this at the bottom. I don't need this text here. So in Canva, if you just want to remove it, all you have to do is select it, backspace, and then when you click on something else, an image or outside of the graphic, it will go away. That little box is not there anymore. So let's say I want to change this text here, ice cream party, and I want to make this about my blog post. Let's see. The CRM tool that will change your business. Let's just say that. I'm going to take out this little, whoops. Let's take all of that text out. I think that's how we're going to do this. Let's just take it all out. As you can see, if you just keep it out of the box, or if you want to use a different font altogether, you can do that too. But if you want to just take the text out of the box, you can simply just keep deleting the text and it will go away. You won't see those text boxes anymore. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to choose a different font here altogether. I could. But instead, what I think I'm going to do is just play with this font a bit. I'm going to go ahead and copy my title here again, just make it quick and easy for myself, and paste it into the box. I'm going to move this back down. And let's say that this is a font I really like to use. Then I'll keep it. This is the Lotto font. You could change it by selecting all and choosing a different font. So let's say you didn't really like that font, but you like how it's laid out. You can choose this one. I think this is the one that I really like to use. Baskerville, yeah, I like Baskerville. And so what I like about Canva is when you rearrange things, you see the little grid lines in there? It centers things for you so you kind of know where it should fall in the box. You can kind of eyeball it a bit, but just play with it a little bit more. You can play with the font size a little bit too. I really don't like this word here being on the line by itself, but in a way it's kind of nice because it separates translation and interpreting. So the CRM tool that will change your translation or interpreting business. Okay, we'll just leave that there. And then the next thing I like to do as well, if you've ever seen my blog posts, I typically have a little line here that I like to add, and then I put the URL there at the bottom. So let's say you just want to add more text. You can do something really simple and just say add a little bit of body of text by clicking on that and moving this little block down. Let's put it down here at the bottom. That's where I'm going to put my URL. And you can see it's too big. So what I'm going to do is make it maybe a size 10. I can center that up again. That's about right. Yeah, right about there. I like that. And I'm going to go back to Elements. And this time I want to add that little line that I like to put above my URL. So I'm going to click here on Lines. And I just like to use this very first one, this free one. It's really thick when you click on it because that's the default. I make it really, really, really thin. And I move it as much as possible. I make it as small as I can. Oops. Let's just keep it that size. Whoa, I'm moving stuff around here. Okay, as you can see, it's easy to put things back. As you play with this, you're going to notice that things move. When you think you're clicking on one thing, you actually clicked on another. And yeah, I kind of like how that looks. This is not the one I'm going to use for my blog because I'm going to go back and make sure that it fits the aesthetic of what I always post as far as the font that I use and the look. But I'm going to show you how to do that at the end because this is a really easy way. Once you get a few things set up, there's a really easy way to do this without recreating this every time. But this is if you're starting from scratch. And so I like this. I like how it looks. And let's say I want to keep this for my blog. I'm going to download it just by clicking here. And you have a variety of options. You can choose to save it as a JPG file, a PNG, or a PDF if you're creating documents. These are really great. There are lots of ways you can create documents and other documents that you might want to create for marketing in your business. You could think about and do that from just creating a design. So I'm going to download it as a PNG, which is what they recommend. And when it's finished, it's going to come up right here. I'm going to save it now, or you can see actually it's already in my downloads. And so if I want to open that, it's a PNG file, and I want to see what it looks like. I think it's opening. Yes, this is how it's going to look. And this is the image that I would put into my blog post. Okay, so really, really simple. Now, let's say, whoops, okay. Let's say that I want to go back into my library, and your library just pops up whenever you sign into Canva. You don't have to do anything or click on anything to get there. So go back into Canva. You can see it's saving and generating a preview for me. It's saving right now. This is the one that I just created. But let's say I want to recreate the one that I used in my last blog post, let's say. I know that it already has everything set up the way that I want it to look. And so I can just click on this little arrow here, make a copy, and you're going to see that it says here, copy. I don't want it to be called copy because I want it to have the same name as my previous design that I just created, which is for the new blog post coming out in April. So I want this to be the CRM tool that will change your translation or interpreting business. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open this from my library, which is now a new file because I've just created it off of this one. Okay, so this is a copy, but I'm going to edit it now to make sure that it has the right information. So you can see everything is already set up for me. It has the image from the old blog post, but it's pretty easy to change the image out. All you have to do is click on this image, delete it, and now it's gone, and I just uploaded, I believe it was this image. Yes, this was the last one I uploaded just now. This is the one I'm going to use in my blog post in April. And I really want it to show the screen a little bit because this is about the CRM tool, Client Relationship Management Tool, which you use on your computer. So I want the computer to be on the image. I like that. I like how that looks right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is the wrong title for this upcoming blog post, right? So I'm just going to backspace that and paste in the new one right there. And you can see it's a shorter title than the last one was, so it has moved the box down. All I have to do is rearrange that. And I love these grid lines because I can see exactly where it is in the middle and centered. And I don't have to recreate this line that I use in every single image that I do for my blog posts. This is still here, it's the same length, it's still in the center, and I don't have to retype my URL at the bottom. It's done, set. What I might do to change this image slightly is because the background here on this new photo is different from my other blog post. You can see here, it's really light right here. You can see the background, you can see the image through the square, which I like to use. It's an aesthetic that I like personally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the transparency and I am going to make it a little more transparent. And you can do this as much as you want, or you don't have to touch it at all. But it's something that I like to do, and you can do it with any of the shapes. There's so many things you can do with Canva. And I think that looks good. I think I'm finished. Make sure I spelled everything correctly. Yes, looks good. And so what I'm going to do is download that. That's my new image for my April blog post, and I'm going to save that. I really like how that turned out. And once it pops up here, I'm going to save it to my files where I save all of my blog graphics. And just drop it right there.
If you found this tutorial helpful, hopefully you'll share this with colleagues and with others who you know who are wanting to create professional looking graphics for their website, for their blog, or for their social media channels in order to grow their business. They may not have a big budget, and that's okay. These are things that you can start doing today that can get you going and motivated and excited about your business and with sharing it with the world. I'd also love to talk to you more about how you create images for your business. Do you already use Canva, or do you use something different in your business? Please leave a comment below and let me know. And finally, please don't think that this video or the blog post related to the video is anything against using professional graphic designers. I am completely in favor of using professional graphic designers, and I use them in my own business every week. But when you don't have a budget and you really need something to look professional for marketing purposes, Canva is a really great tool, and I highly suggest it to anybody who's looking to create anything to do with marketing materials or digital materials in their business. Hopefully you'll find this all helpful, and if you could, please leave a comment below, like my channel, and go and visit the blog. Sign up for the email newsletter. We'd love to have you, and I'd love to talk to you more.